What's up, Facebook world? Hey guys, I got a little behind. Apologize. I was trying to do 30 days in a row, and that is absolutely not the case. Gotten well off track. So I was out of town for about a week. But so long story short is what I'm going to do is just do 30 days. I'm just going to make sure I knock out 30 days of these. I'm going to try and get them back to back as much as possible and try and knock it through. But you know, can't get the whole goal. But definitely can still knock out a majority of it here. And, you know, the hardest part is just coming up with what the hell to talk about every day and what do you think is going to be relevant. And in reality, what I came up with is there's probably a million things that are relevant that other people are dealing with that you don't even think of, and you're kind of hammering through every day and you know, just kind of going through and trying to make everything come together and work and you don't give it any value. But so, long story short, so today I was, my buddy Steve Strick, he posted one of those, you know, kind of entrepreneurial, motivational things where it's kind of the chart. Every entrepreneur has probably seen it 50 times. Just the chart of kind of how you start the day, and it's like a roller coaster ride of, I feel great, I'm doing awesome, you know, and then you drop, oh man, am I doing it wrong? No, I've got it. Why am I questioning myself? To, I'm an idiot, I'm going bankrupt, this is nuts, why did I get into this? And, you know, kind of the whole, you know, jig-jag all the way up and around. And, you know, I've seen it 100 times. It relates every single time. And it's like, oh, yeah. So inherently, you write it, you know. I responded to his post and was like, yep, every day. And then I look, and he's got like 50 responses, you know, very quickly. Just boom, 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 boom. Just, you know, all these damn responses with it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so, you know, all these responses, I'm like, shit, and literally everyone's just saying the same thing. Yep, every day, twice a day, you know it. And I don't know everybody on there that's responding. I know a handful of the folks, and, you know, a lot of them are pretty successful entrepreneurs, just really rocking it. And it's like, oh, cool. That's, you know, one, yeah, we feel it and everyone knows it, but it's also cool and reassuring to see everyone else dealing with the same stuff, you know? Let me get this camera right. Dealing with the same stuff. So it's just like, oh, you're not the only one feeling that way. So it was a huge takeaway. So I just kind of started writing on his post on, you know, in the comments, like, you know, on there, just, hey, great, it's awesome. It's very reassuring to hear that everyone's kind of dealing with the same thing. So he wrote back and was like, yeah, it's crazy. You know, you feel like you're on an island all alone, and it's just nuts kind of in the entrepreneurial world. Even if you got, you know, 10, 20, 30, 100 employees, you know, it doesn't take away from that feeling that, hey, you've got to figure this out, and you know, you have the responsibility of making this work. You don't have a boss to go to ask, like, hey, what do you do? You know, that's a huge, it's a huge piece. It's probably the single hardest thing since I've gone off on my own, you know, 6+ years ago, is just not having someone directly that is equally as, you know, that is above you, that can make the decision. You're like, okay, well, all right, done, taken care of. I got that taken, you know, kind of moving along. But so long story short is you don't have that. So right, so all of that, you know, that stress is on your shoulders. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. All that stress is on your shoulders all the time. And it's crazy. So yeah, you feel that feeling of being alone on an island. You just don't quite know kind of what it is. Well, and you're always questioning, you know, am I doing it wrong? You know, why is hiring so difficult? Why can't I get the you know, can I get more folks to help do this? Or I can't afford to hire for that position yet, but I really need help with that position. How can I stretch this out? Who else can I get in there? Can I hire this new person to do this, and this? You know, and kind of like spread them out over 6 different roles, and which never works out like it's supposed to. You know, they don't do the one thing worth a damn, and then they don't get all the other stuff you need them to do done either. It's just, you know, so all these different things, and it's just like, you know, why isn't everyone else out there dealing with the same bullshit? Like, why am I the only one dealing with it? It's kind of all this noise in your head, all these things that people are thinking about, and so I'm starting to write this all out, and I really came to the conclusion is, yeah, this happens every day. It probably happens 10 times a day. I'm sure everyone out there, Dustin, I'm sure you feel it. I'm sure Chris, I'm sure you feel it. You know, Nicole, I'm sure you deal with it. It's just like everyone deals with this, all this you know, all the fluctuations in the day, all that kind of making it make sense. But I think the key is, and what I kind of came to was, in reality, like, that's just how it is. And the biggest tool is just accept it, right? So as soon as I started just accepting it, Well, then you can quiet the noise and say, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So you accept it, you quiet that noise, and from that point, you can use it as huge motivation. One of the things that one of my mentors kind of instilled in me a while back, and I'm really kind of just layering different pieces of information and different helpful tools over the years that I've received. But like, hey, in this scenario where you're just freaking out and you've got all these ups and downs and things are just shitty, and you're like, why can't I deal with this issue or why can't I deal with this opportunity? I need to be able to spend more time on this opportunity because I want to build this piece out. But I'm spending all of this time putting out fires, dealing with issues, dealing with things that you think should just be moving along, should just be working as they should be, as it's supposed to, smooth. Well, in reality, that's not the case. It's never the case. But why are you dealing with this bullshit? Why isn't everyone else? And it's like, once you get past that and say, it is what it is, quiet that noise and use it as motivation, say, this is where my competition quits. This is when they've had enough. They quit in this scenario. And you say, hell yeah. All right, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not the guy that quits here. I've never done that. Okay, boom. From that point, you shift into that next gear, and it gives you this motivation you didn't have 2, 3, 5 minutes ago. It wasn't there. You were down in the dumps, pissed that you couldn't spend the time that you wanted to do it. Now you're saying, okay, well, it is what it is. Most folks quit in this scenario. I'm not going to quit. How do I forge forward? And just kind of hammer that thing home. It's been unbelievable, and I deal with it every day. Most days I can kind of quiet it down enough, get that focus, push forward, and get there. There are certainly some days that does not happen. But my thought is a majority of the time, if I can do that more times than not, I'm going to be so far ahead, because knowing that a majority of folks are going to quit, and you're not going to be the one that does it. You're going to forge forward. Also, kind of related to that is that piece that am I spending enough time with family, or because I'm dealing with all of these other issues, I'm dealing with all this stuff, and I still want to grow out this piece. Okay, well, the only way I can fix that is time, or bring in additional staff. Well, bringing in additional staff takes time to hire up. You got to hire them, you got to train them, you got to do all that. Well, that takes more time now. So all of these different things are taking away from, the work-life balance, all that kind of stuff that everyone always talks about. And Ed Milet, I don't know if you guys ever follow Ed Milet, he's pretty unbelievable. But he had this great point. He's like, hey guys, and it kind of relates directly to this. Hey guys, don't worry about that work-life balance. Guess what? You're fighting. It's something that's just inevitable. Just accept that there are going to be imbalances with that. It just is what it is. When you're with your family, try and be as present as absolutely possible, and then know that some days you're just going to have to roll up your sleeves and work harder. It's just how it's going to have to be. If you're going to be at whatever success level, you're going to hit whatever goal you're going to want to hit, know that it's not going to be as easy as you think. It's going to take probably twice as long. It's probably going to cost you twice as much. And when it comes to cost, that might be time, might be money, who knows? But in reality, it's there. Accept it and just try and do your best to the time that you do get to spend with your family to do it. And if you're definitely going to hit that goal, well, focus on it and knock that thing out. And once you kind of get past that point of accepting what it is and not beating yourself up for not being able to hit it, it quiets so much of that noise, just like the roller coaster ride. And I'll post the roller coaster picture in the comments. I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but it'll help. But yeah, so I've been dealing with that, or thinking about that in pretty good detail here the last, since I saw that post and started commenting on it. So thought it'd be a good topic to throw out there. I'm sure everyone else has had similar instances, and solely based on the responses in that one post, it's pretty clear that everyone that or a good amount of folks are feeling that same pain there. If you guys are feeling it, if you have any comments with it, let me know down here. I'd love to talk about it more. Or if you've got anything else related to that, love to hear it. Like I said, it's been hugely impactful for me. I'm sure it'll be pretty impactful for others, but that single point of knowing, like, hey, this is where everyone else quits. Like, this is what the other folks aren't doing. This is what my competition isn't doing. And forging through that has been unbelievably motivating for me. It's been a huge, just fire to help kind of light that flame and burn that thing going forward. So hopefully it works for you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one.